Vanessa, it's my impression that travel agents know Tauck really well when it comes to the land product. But although river cruising's been around for a while with Tauck, I don't know that agents necessarily know how to sell it, who to sell it to, and what it does really well.
It does a lot really well, Nina.
It's a good start.
I'm very impressed. I had not been on Tauck for some years, and then it was only a short christening cruise. So this was a real experience, which is what I wanted to taste. And my gosh, it tastes good.
Love it.
Yes, so you're possibly right. I'm not sure how many agents are selling Tauck River. They should start doing it if they're not. It was remarkable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a really great intro. But now you have to tell me why it was remarkable, because you've done a lot of cruising.
Yes, and they are way up there anyway. And I've always thought that because they're all inclusive, and so that makes a big difference.
Yes.
But you know, their champagne of choice is Moët Chandon, and it's free flowing, and you may have as much as you wish. And they don't really make much of that. You think of that when you're talking luxury ocean ships, but you don't necessarily think of it in river. So, but I think the key about Tauck is the 3 tour directors that you get, plus the cruise director. So we arrived in Paris. We flew in. We were met by a private car transfer, which was lovely, taken to the hotel in Paris for 2 nights, which was included. And then we meet each of the 3 tour directors, two ladies and a gentleman, and he was the Canadian, in fact. And they take care of you, and they go back and forth. You don't get one tour director that's yours. You know, you mix with all 3 of them.
Okay.
And then once they got us to Lyon, where we embarked the ship, we have our cruise director as well. She was there, and she was fantastic too. So we had the ship only holds 98 people now. It was downsized. So they've made the staterooms larger, which I love.
Oh, wow.
And less
I wasn't
people.
aware of that.
Yeah. I know, I think a lot of people miss those things. So 98 guests, of which we in fact were 84 with some singles. So there were 4 people taking care of 84 of us.
You know, having been on a Tauck River cruise a few times, I think it's so important to make sure that the agents understand that when you talk about the tour directors,
Yes.
these are not hired tour directors in the destination.
No.
These are Tauck
Yes.
employees. They're part of the
They
Tauck
sail with you.
family.
They come the whole way with you.
Yes, and that's huge.
And you know, we were on the TGV from Paris to Lyon, and they had said you should go out and buy yourself some wine and a little sandwich or something, and you know, prepare. And we all did, and everybody had their little picnicky thing on the train.
Yeah.
And they came by and said, "Who needs napkins? Who needs water? Does anyone need extra knives and forks?" They were very, very prepared. I almost felt at times a little bit babysat. But I got over that quickly because, you know, I'm used to traveling on my own, going anywhere, as you are, as most of us in the business are. But the guests, a lot of them are older, very experienced travelers nevertheless, and a lot of professionals, lovely people. But they didn't mind being sort of, okay, you're all going to come here, and you're going to go with Janet, and you're going to go with Darcy, and you're going to do this, and don't forget to do that. And they liked being cocooned.
I have to add to it because, well, first of all, when I was on Tauck River, the guests were amazing. That exactly the same. It's such interesting people.
Yeah.
Retired doctors and
Yes,
teachers.
lots of doctors.
Yeah, and they were so interesting, and I wanted to adopt them all and take them home. They were really, really neat people. But the other thing is, when I did it at Tauck Land in Yellowstone in winter.
Yes, I remember that.
Those tour directors, I mean, when the bus took us back to the airport to go home, I was like,
what am I gonna?
You expect me to check in on my own? I don't know how to do that. I got used to the babysitting.
Yes, I did too.
I loved it.
I did too, and I think that's a real Tauck differentiating point. Never mind, the overall service was impeccable. I mean, really, I just deducted a couple of points for a little thing here or there. It was really superb. But I think the key for me, and this is unusual, and I hadn't really realized this myself before I went, was I couldn't pay for anything. There were no extra tours. So we went to the Camargue to see the white horses one day and the black bulls, and I always wanted to go. And I thought that was an excursion one would pay for and choose to go on. Oh, no, it's included, off you go. Truffle hunting, truffle farm included. The dinner at the Duchy d'Uzès, which I wrote about in my column, spectacular in a sort of 16th, 17th century, multi-century palacey castle thing.
Right.
Gorgeous. Again, beautiful, exquisite, entertainment, hors d'oeuvres, champagne, 4-course meal. in a stunning old vaulted room. Nothing extra. All these bits that they had.
Nice.
So my only concern there was I felt it was too busy for me.
Okay.
But most people didn't. And I asked them, I said, is this too much? No, we're very impressed. It's not inexpensive when you put the money out at first, but boy, is it worth it. And there were a lot of repeat Tauck guests. Some had done 13, 10, 16
They're so
trips.
loyal, so loyal. And that's a really good point for the agents, that once
very
you
loyal.
sell a client on Tauck, that client will probably be a
Yes.
repeat client, whether it's river or land.
I agree.
They
And
do
you
such a
really
good
get a
job.
bang for, I hate to say it's bang for your buck because it's so much nicer than that. But you really, really do. I was so impressed.
So if you had to, let's say, compare what someone might pay on another river cruise, where they don't get all those inclusions, but they will get a bill at the end, and you had to total what's paid on Tauck.
Yeah. It's hard to say,
Okay.
you'd have to sort of detail it by minute, by
Right.
item by item. But I think it's not so much about the price, I think it's about the experience.
Okay.
And if you sell the right person on the right cruise anywhere, at any time in the world, and they have the right experience and they feel that they saw things they may not have seen before, then it doesn't matter what the price is. So it's probably very close, but it's really impeccable. And I keep saying I was impressed, but it's true.
And it's hard to
hard
impress you.
impress me. No, I'm tough. I'm a taskmaster, and it was just terrific.
Interesting.
Very few little issues, but that's it.
In terms of who to sell it to, I just want to end on that is for the agents to really understand that even though it's in the luxury arena, it isn't necessarily for people who, are looking for, I don't know, the best thread count, even though it has a really good thread count. But
No,
I'm just
it's
saying
not. It's not that
fluffy,
sort of ultra luxury.
Yes,
no,
but you sell it to people who I think appreciate intelligent travel. That's how I see
it is intelligent travel, impeccably organized, really take care of people, and they give you these remarkable moments that as somebody popping around on a river you might not otherwise see. And everybody's trying to do that, and I applaud the river cruise industry across the board.
Right.
How they're moving in the right direction, and they're taking it up, and they are becoming more luxurious. Everyone is in their category, so that's good. And they're offering more, which is also important. But these guys have it inbred. It's in their DNA.
Yeah.
It's what Tauck has been doing for 90 plus years.
Right.
And so I think they come by it, honestly and honorably. And oh my goodness, I'm about to write my second column, so I'm going to delve into a few things in a little more detail. But wowie zowie. It was great. I had such fun.
Look out for the second issue of the Wowie Zowie.
Yeah. So we're going to call it now. We're not going to call it Vanessa's Views anymore.
No, we're going
It's
to
just
call it
be
the
Wowie
Wowie
Zowie.
Zowie cruise column. Okay, that's such interesting information. Thank you, Vanessa.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks for asking.